Hi, everybody. Oh, I see you coming in. So happy to have you guys here today. And start chatting. Tell us where you're from. Say hello. I love reading. I love reading those. Go on the chat and make sure if you're chatting, say that you're sending it out to all of the attendees so that everybody can see it. Oh, what another beautiful morning here in Sedona. Oh, there's Rebecca. Rebecca's in Michigan. Oh, so, feeling so good today. This is going to be another one of our beautiful, beautiful masterclasses. I'm so, oh, here's somebody from Philadelphia. I love that. Somebody already raised their hand. Stan, you're all right. Oh, we will be doing, oh, and Breezy's here, great. Oh, Gail from New Jersey, hi Gail, I know Gail. And Stephanie from Virginia, Philadelphia, oh, I love this, New Jersey. Ventura, California, Charleston, South Carolina, very cool. Isn't it cool, you guys? Isn't it so amazing? I feel like the Jetsons, you know, every time I do one of these Zoom things, when I was a little kid watching that show, that seemed so literally out of this world. North Carolina, Minnesota, Georgia, another one from Philadelphia, Delaware, lots of East Coasters. Oh, somebody from Canada, from Calgary. Gosh, I was just talking about one of my really, really, really good friends from Calgary. So great. So I love it that we're all here. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm Deborah Stengel, founder of Sedona Solar Ventures. I am so glad that you are here with us today. This is going to be a fantastic masterclass. So let's just go ahead and everybody start just breathing. That's what we're going to be doing through this whole class. But let's take a deep breath just to kind of settle into your body and get ready to go and to just get right here, right now. And I just want to really jump in right away today because this is going to be an incredible masterclass. Meredith Davis is one of our amazing breathwork practitioners, and she is an intuitive healer. She's a teacher, a consciousness guide, and counselor. She's also an ordained shamanic minister. She has been on her path for over 40 years. I think she must have started when she was 10. And she has helped so many of our Sedona Solar Ventures clients with the breath journeys that she does, because as those of you who have, oh, somebody just typed in, Meredith is amazing, and that's right. She is one of the practitioners who does the inner journey breath, which, if you've done a solar venture, you know is one of the cornerstones of the work that we do here at Sedona Solar Ventures. So Meredith, I am so happy to have you here with us today.
I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting. Hi, everybody. I see some names of people that I've worked with. And
isn't it great?
Yeah, it's great to be with you all again from all over the country. I love this. I love this.
So Meredith, I am just gonna hand it over to you. You go, girl.
All right, here we go. So, because that's what I do, I thought I'd share with you all today about the power of breath. And, you know, these times that we're in are just so amazingly crazy. And we're seeing, and you probably have felt in your own life, this kind of contradiction almost between your outer world being constrained, but if you're like us, your inner world is growing. maybe because we're not so busy out there right now that we're focused inward on, what's moving, what's growing, and what's transitioning in us. Maybe some of us are coming face to face with things that we've sort of distracted ourselves from. And so right now we have this wonderful opportunity to really make some deep changes in our lives that maybe this is a perfect time for. So I thought this would be a great time to talk about one of really our most, I really think it's our most powerful spiritual healing, mental health, emotional health, physical health tool. And it is literally right in front of our face, and it's our nose. And what's so contradictory is that when we get stressed and when we get triggered, when we get busy, the first thing we forget to do is breathe. And it's really the breath that keeps us going. So in my studies, there's just a ton of stuff out there. And I love right now how what we call spiritual, and scientific. I mean, there's been this rift for centuries. It's all coming together. And I often say that the most powerful, cutting edge, spiritual voices right now are scientists, because they're discovering that there's no duality. It's all one thing. So I know Deborah had us take a little breath, but I want to dive right in before we get into the understanding and then some more practice. I just want to have us all bring our energy together and really experience the power of being able to drop down into and use the breath to open and connect. So right now, we'll just kind of stop for a moment, and I'm actually giving you a preview of what we'll do more of later. And take a conscious breath and feel the breath go all the way down into your back, into your lungs. Just follow it all the way in. And just let it go. And then feel your awareness drop from your head, your eyeballs down into your heart. And very gently breathe in and out of your heart. And now feel a column of light coming from your heart all the way up through your brain. Open the top of your head, open the ceiling in your house. And just connect with the source above us in those higher realms. And almost as if you're sucking it in with your breath, just pull the beautiful high vibrational energy all the way down into your body, into your brain, your heart, your gut, down into your bottom where you're sitting. And just kind of use the breath as a prayer to open, to fill, and feel the deliciousness. My favorite spiritual word, delicious. And just feel that deliciousness filling you on all levels. Maybe you feel a little flutter of delight in your chest, in your heart, in your stomach. And then allow that feeling to spread out beyond your body and feel that it's reaching to all of us, all 81 of us. And even to those we love who are not on the call, and just feel that energy spreading and forming this wonderful field of love, of connection, of singular purpose, of that of connecting. And just feel how good it feels to have that connection on an energetic level, and just revel in that for a moment. Let yourself enjoy it. Yeah. And while we're here, we're just going to call in whatever teachers and guides and helpers are out there to help us absorb the information on a very deep level, not just intellectual, but actually soak up the energy of what we're going to be hearing, learning, and doing into every cell of our body. Feel your cells light up. Just feel how good that feels right now. Yeah. So just let that settle in and know that this can be a baseline normal state as we practice living from this place. And that's what we're going to learn about. That's what all these classes are teaching you, of sharing with you. So take one more breath and just feel again the energy just moving through your cells of your body, kind of waking everybody up, giving you a little buzz of deliciousness today. Excellent. There we go. Yay. It's wonderful, literally wonderful to actually feel connected to all of you. Space and time don't exist in the quantum. And that's my thing, my spiritual language, I should say, is what I call spiritual physics. It's quantum physics. And no, this is not going to be a big quantum physics science lesson today, but there is some science in it. And I'll tell you why, for one reason. One of the things about the way we humans are wired, we have the left brain and we have the right brain. And when we can understand why we're doing something, why we're breathing, why we're stretching, doing yoga, meditating, when we understand some of the physiological benefits, it gives us whole brain buy-in. There is a field that has been around for a while and it now has a name. It's called Epigenetics. And we now have enough equipment to actually prove on a technological level the benefits of things like breathing, meditation, yoga, the benefits of why when you do a Sedona Soul Adventure, why it creates such amazing changes in your life. If you were hooked up to a monitor when you just did what we did, it would show brain and physiological changes. It would show changes in your DNA. So when we can actually bring in the understanding as well as enjoy the experience of the practice, it actually gives whole brain buy-in and doubles and actually exponentially increases the effectiveness of what you're doing. So I am going to give you a bit of background on why when we get stressed and when we're just wigging out with somebody and say, okay, calm down and take a breath. I mean, that's just everywhere, but it's like, why? You know, yeah, it's nice. But yeah, don't tell me to breathe. I will tell you, I don't know if my daughter and grandsons have tuned in to see Mimi do something different than she usually does. But I have an 8-year-old grandson, and my daughter works with them with the breath. But when he gets really in a twist, and she'll say, "Okay, now calm down and take a breath. Don't tell me to breathe. I'm not going to breathe." And then, of course, he does. So I want to share with you a little bit about why breathing is so effective. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Yeah, so here's a little list of what conscious breathing actually does for us. This is Dr. Meredith's spiritual first aid kit. So look at this list. I mean, I could barely fit it all on the screen here. Balancing the autonomic nervous system, reducing stress, cortisol. Okay, cortisol is the stress hormone that makes belly fat. That should be enough right there to make you want to breathe properly. Reducing blood pressure, alkalizing, reducing inflammation. Inflammation is the underlying cause of pretty much every disease there is, and also acidity. So you can look all this stuff up online. Oxygenates the blood, the whole body, the brain. So therefore improves the brain function. So these are all the physical effects of conscious breathing. It's amazing how much medication could we get off if we, if we actually use breath consciously to change our physiology. So, of course, then we forget to breathe when we go into stress. And that kind of sets us back. So remembering that developing a practice of conscious breathing just in your everyday life, keep an open mind toward those things that you're actually doing. And so it's interesting that, especially these days in Chinese medicine, they tell us that they have the system that the various organs hold the vibration of various illnesses and diseases. And interestingly enough, today in the world we're in, the lungs hold grief. And a lot of times when I'm doing a breath work with someone, they'll come in and they'll say, oh my goodness, I hope you can help me breathe because I have such a hard time breathing. And I share this with them and they realize that, it's like their lungs are just heavy lead weights inside their bodies. And they're trying to breathe, but the effort to breathe is just so difficult. And given what we're dealing with in the world today, isn't it interesting that it impacts the lungs and the respiration? I think one of the energetics that's at play here is the existential grief of humanity. And that, again, I mean, we feel that all over the world. So when you're consciously breathing, you can breathe gently into, maybe realizing that you've got grief in there, whether it's a big trauma or just a lot of little things that have added up. So going in and dropping in and feeling yourself kindly and compassionately breathing into those heavy stuck places around that squeeze your heart. The lungs squeeze the heart. So all of this can be fact-checked for those of you who want to get more science behind this and find out, well, this is all very good, but is it real? And I'll tell you why it's real. And you can look this up too if you want to know more. It actually works on the vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body. It goes from the brain stem all the way down into the low belly. It follows the chakra line. Isn't that interesting? It goes into all the organs and it balances the autonomic nervous system and all those things. So the reason breathing does all those things that you saw on that list is because it activates, balances, and tones your vagus nerve. So talk about bringing, your mental, emotional, spiritual self into coherence with your physiology. We're bringing it all into one thing. When the body feels better, the mind can be calmer, and we can move on. So when we get triggered, and we all do, of course, the first thing we do is go into a stress breath. And I want to check with you guys, because a lot of times when we're going into a breathwork session here with someone on a soul adventure, I tell them to take a breath. And the first thing they do is go, and the shoulders go up, the stomach goes in, and the chest goes up. And I'm going, oh, okay, so we have to learn to breathe. That's backwards breathing. It is the stress breath. Breathing into the top of the chest. And I wonder how many of you do this. You can, if you want to raise your hand, does your belly go in when you take a breath? Do your shoulders hunch up? You're trying to get more breath up here. And actually 80% of your air sacs are below the upper chest, below the breast line, down below. And so we'll be learning how to breathe down in, open up, and then, you know, bring in the energy and use the breath as a spiritual tool to open more. So one of the ways to correct that is to focus on getting the breath down into the back and the side ribs. And so you feel the breath filling your back, filling your side bodies. And this is going to help you get the breath down lower into the body to open up those tight, stuck, hiding places. So when we talk about the right way to breathe, we talk about the 3 C's, and I'm going to share it with you again. Okay, so the way we breathe in breath work and the way we breathe sort of therapeutically and spiritually is conscious, connected, and circular, the 3 C's. So what does that look like? And I want you to all do this with me because we're gonna practice a little bit here. So you get to feel, I want you to feel what this feels like in your body. So first of all, it's a long, slow, full inhale. It's conscious because you're paying attention and following it all the way in to open you up. And it's connected, meaning that there's no pauses between the inhale and the exhale. Think of it being like a rocking chair. So taking a long, slow, gentle inhale, feeling your lungs expand. I want you to all do this with me now. And then just let it go. The long, slow, gentle exhale is what activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of the nervous system that is actually connected to the right brain, which brings us peace and calm and equanimity. So pulling the breath down into the back and the side ribs, feel it go in and opening your back and side ribs, and then letting it go. So notice also that a rapid forced breathing puts you into more stress. It stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. Now, I will say there's a positive to this too, because if you're excited and you're charging up the side of the mountain, you're rapidly breathing, and it is the sympathetic nervous system, but that's like the gas pedal that's getting you up the side of the mountain. Or if you're at the gym and you're pumping yourself up to lift something heavy, it kind of gets you going and gives you that adrenaline to be able to do what you need to do. But on a day-to-day basis, we don't need to be living in that all the time. So, so let's just practice this for a moment. And I want to know, do any of you have a problem with breathing backwards here? Is anybody having a problem, you know, that they can't get the breath down here, that they actually are, and they actually are breathing up into their upper chest? Anybody need a little tutorial on that? Helene? So one of the ways to change the way you breathe is to take a breath as your normal, and maybe it goes like this, and your stomach's going in and getting tight. So let the breath out. Everybody let the breath all the way out. So you got no more breath. All the way out, round your back, bend over, round your back. and then hold the breath out till you can't anymore. And all of a sudden, you taking in a big breath, and what happened? Your lungs just opened all the way down. So bending forward, breathing out all the way. This is actually a Kundalini yoga practice. So arching the back, rounding the back, breathing out all the way, and breathing in. I would even recommend this as a breathing exercise. It's great for toning the abs too and loosening up the spine. So this in and out is going to actually retrain your body to breathe in an effective way. Okay, so I want to talk about ways to use breath. And we did this in the beginning. We can use breath as just what we do to stay alive, that we're not even paying any attention to it. But what we're trying to do here is harness it as this most amazing tool that Source has built right into us. And so when we start using breath consciously, we can actually heal the body. We can actually release programming in the mind and the brain. That's why a breathwork journey is so powerful and life-changing. We can use the breath as an expression of desire and determination. So when you take a breath, I really want to, and you just kind of like, yes. So your breath is an expression of desire and determination and intention. Your breath can be a wordless prayer. It can be an expression of release and allowing. You allow something new to come in. This is what we do in our breathwork journeys. We breathe in source consciousness. And I hope you're all breathing with me and playing with this as we go. And then we let the exhale just fall out of the body and just allow ourselves to let go of what was so that we're open to be filling with more. So the breath can become this beautiful expression of prayer, of longing to the universe. And this is what we do in a breathwork journey. We allow ourselves to open. We allow ourselves to pull in more of what could be, to take us beyond what we know, into something bigger and more expansive. I think you all felt that in the beginning as we opened. Oh, somebody is saying here, it makes you yawn and feel tired. That is actually shifting, your nervous system. Right there, you felt it, didn't you? Yes, absolutely. You're going into relaxation mode, but you're also releasing stress. So a faster breath wakes you up a little bit more. But it's interesting that a lot of times people will start yawning. It's a shift in your body and brain chemistry. That's another thing that happens. Our brain chemistry changes. Yes, do. Play with the breath to see how it makes you feel, to see where it goes in the body. If you're feeling tight, pull the breath into that area and bring fresh energy into it. So one of the things we're going to do, and then we're going to get some feedback from you on what you're noticing, what you're feeling, and how things shift. So first of all, my spiritual first aid kit, once again. We're all getting triggered. And, you know, triggers and buttons and pushing the buttons and pulling chains and getting our goat, those things are built into us. And when that happens, it's really a signal from our higher self to pay attention to something that wants to change, to shift, to heal, to release, to transform. We take it as a flaw in our character and we judge ourselves for it. And that puts us, you know, down into it more, and we fight against it. So having learned all this stuff about breath, how to do it, we're going to put it to some good use now. And so I want you all to think about, you know, when you get triggered, when you get freaked out, when you get frightened, when you just feel yourself getting agitated and antsy. So we're going to do an exercise, and I'll walk you through it. Okay. There we go. So first of all, this is what I share with my breathwork people. I send them home with this so that the next time something comes up, they've got somewhere to go with it. So first of all, notice what you notice. Oops, there I go again. And if you think that we don't still get there, me, Deborah, all of our practitioners, yeah, we do. But we've got the tools to know how to get out of it faster and how to use it to actively transform. And that's what I want to share with you today. So first of all, oops, you know, we're in the kitchen and words get heated, and or I'm going into that dark place and getting down into that place again, or the spiraling down, you know what I mean. So first of all, whoa, notice. And you know, you can ask for help with that. Help me notice when I'm going into the weeds. So there you go again. And it's like, oh my God. And sometimes I'll look at myself and I'll think, wow, just look at her go. So you notice first of all. And when you notice, instead of going into judgment about it, like, okay, here's a point where I can shift, change, and heal. So stop. When I first learned this, literally, it was like I was being guided by my higher self. Our higher selves have a big sense of humor. And they can get kind of snarky with us sometimes. So first of all, when you notice that you're kind of going off, it's like, whoa, okay, stop. Take a breath and literally unplug your energy. When I first did it, I would actually like use my fingers. It was totally unconscious. I would like literally unplug and pull back, literally unplug from the scene, whatever was going on. Like really like pull your fingers out of the light socket of what's going on. Whoa. And then with the breath, you drop your awareness down out of your head like we did in the beginning. Whoa, you can feel the energy in your head. You can just feel the pressure in your brain, right? You can feel yourself like this. Pull it back. Just let it slide down into your gut and your heart. Notice where you're feeling it down there. You've got a hurt in your heart, or pressure in your heart, or pressure in your gut. Notice that. Give your brain that job. And just focus in there. And then take conscious, compassionate, not judgmental. Send compassion into those places. They're not character flaws. They're not sins. They're wounds. You're hurt. You're wounded, and you're protecting yourself. So breathe compassion into the fear that you're feeling. And just take some of those nice, conscious, circular, connected breaths, gently and kindly. Doing this now. Everybody doing this with me. Good. And then feel the pressure ease. Feel the pressure ease. Feel yourself expand. Feel the pressure in your head let go. Feel the pressure in your gut let go. And then be grateful. Just feel gratitude for that shift that you just experienced. Now, are you going to be able to do it perfectly every single time? Are you going to remember every single time and never get triggered again? No. but you're going to be able to practice these stops, these steps. You know, the old fire, if you close catch on fire, stop, drop, and roll. This is stop, drop, and breathe. And it gets easier every time, and beginning to retrain and reprogramming your brain to go there as your new normal. Now, what did anybody notice? What did anybody notice with this?
Go ahead and raise your hands if you'd like to share what you noticed.
Or if you have a question.
Well, we have a quiet group today, really? There we go, Maria. Okay, Maria, we'll go and remember to turn on your audio and your video so that we can see you. There she is. Turn on your audio so we can hear you, Maria. Unmute yourself. I think she's coming. Try it one more time.
We have questions here.
Why don't you answer some questions while we try to get Maria on? Maria,
okay.
You're on mute, so we need to have you unmute yourself. But Meredith, if you want to take some of the questions from the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Naomi, is it possible to have tension in the clavicle area when you haven't been breathing? Yes. Your muscles are tight, and if we also have this postural thing where we actually protect our heart. And so the breath gets very shallow and tight in the upper chest here. And so when you open your shoulders and pull back and dare to open your heart and take in the breath, that can stretch those muscles. In fact, it would be probably a good thing to lie on the floor and practice feeling your shoulder blades hit the floor. You can even put a little pillow. I have like a long, narrow pillow or a roller, and you can lay on that and kind of put that in the middle of your back so your shoulders open. This is actually a good practice for noticing how we've closed in and how we're guarding our hearts and how we're protecting ourselves. So there's so much you can start noticing when you actually open the body and breathe. So then drop the shoulders and then send compassion to that. What are you holding in your shoulders? What is the tension? What is the pressure? What are you feeling as responsibility that you're carrying? So everything that you notice in your body is telling you something.
So Maria, do we have you here? I'm
Still
seeing
can't
that
hear
your
you.
microphone. No, and we're seeing a picture of you. So I guess it's not going to happen. Can you do that? Unmute, Maria? Okay.
Do they have
sorry that
permission to
didn't
unmute
happen.
themselves? Okay. So what does
Let's
it
see.
mean?
So let's go. We can go to Denise. Denise has her hand raised. So let's see if that will work. Here we go. So Denise, go ahead and put your, there we go, and unmute yourself.
And I'm unmuted. I had two questions.
Can you turn your video on so we can see you?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent.
There we are. Do you see me?
No.
No, but go ahead. We can hear you. So.
Okay, sorry, I unmuted. But my questions were, can you again explain the spine and the chakra systems real quickly, because I don't think I caught all of that. And then the protecting the heart, I totally get that. And so I'm trying to figure out, I like the roller idea. I'm just trying to figure out other ideas to try to make sure I'm opening my chest. And
yeah, really take it easy and just notice what you notice. And you might even want to put that down on a sticky note somewhere. There you go. Hi.
Yeah, sorry, I had my
take it real easy. It's not about, having to do everything exactly right. Your desire to open, if you lie down on the roller, you kind of let your body roll. I did the melt method for a while, if anybody knows it. And I roll side to side and I let the roller just kind of open my back and I feel my shoulders opening. Everything you do with your body, when you do it consciously, is a spiritual practice. And when you simply allow yourself to breathe gently, and then the whole thing is, you know, taking that long, slow, conscious breath that's like gently opening and filling. It's kind of like, you know, not forcing the breath in, like open, damn you.
That's what I feel like I'm doing.
No, the way we get messed up is by feeling forced. And so using the breath to heal and forcing ourselves to open is kind of like backwards, because we're just doing more forcing. You know, we're, as kids, our parents, you know, are saying, don't be like that. Well, like what? I'm just me. And then pretty soon you don't know who you are. And then pretty soon you come to Sedona Soul Adventures and we help you figure it out. So we don't want to use the breath as a weapon. We want to use it to allow, you know, a feeling of safety. When I do a breath work, my biggest job is to create a safe container in which your soul can come in and do the healing work. I need to make you feel safe. That's the whole thing. We don't feel safe. And then our breath shuts down as a reflection of what that is. Our lungs are all messed up and tight, and our hearts are all tight and protected, and our muscles are tight because we don't feel safe. So as we practice this breath, as we allow ourselves to relax in and drop open to the divine, open to your soul. I tell people when we do a breath work, okay, here's an analogy for what we're doing. We're calling in your soul as the big IT person to just defrag, debug, dump your cache, rewrite your algorithms, and then upgrade your operating system. And you are just opening and breathing and allowing that to happen. So I said that we can use the breath as a prayer. That's the prayer. And as you take in that long, slow, gentle, compassionate, expansive breath, open as far as you can today. When you can't breathe, it's a signal that you are protecting something that's wounded and frightened. And we don't heal it or lure it out by beating it up with hard, forced, harsh breaths again. And so allowing that, if you feel that, somebody said that you feel a pain in the center of your chest. For one thing, it could be muscles, chest muscles around the sternum. It could be a message from your heart. Mm-hmm. And so when you feel that pain, just kind of take it slow and gentle. And just allow that breath to go into that heart and start to unwind. What's there? What do I need to know about this? I feel the pain in my clavicle, somebody said. What do I need to know about this? Ask your soul. What is this telling me? What would be useful to know right now? Not like, oh my God, what do I need to know? What do I need to do? No, 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 no. What do I need to open? Spirit, show me. And be gentle, kind, and compassionate with yourself. And that way, all those little bits and orphan bits of you that are hiding down deep in there are going to feel safe enough to come out and say, help me. And then you can just kind of bring them home into your heart and then become healed. So often it's like a turtle, you know, it sticks its head out and you start beating it over the head. Heal, damn you. And it goes back in. So using the breath in this beautiful, expansive way is actually going to give yourself a feeling of safety, possibly for the first time in your life.
Thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise. You look like, with that light behind you, you look
Sorry,
like an angel. No, you look like an angel. You look like an angel. It looks really cool.
So sweet. I really appreciate what you guys are doing, so thank you.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much for raising your hand. Thanks.
Yes, we are having a few people with pain or burning in the center of the chest, which is do not release with the breaths. That's Manjusha. Hi. Good to, I don't see you, but I'm reading you. So notice that pain. Here's another thing that I do. Totally gone off script, but that's great because we're meeting the needs of the people. Here's another thing. When I work with people, when we breathe into the lungs to imagine then that as you breathe in, you are breathing in a beautiful white light. The actual vibrational essence of your divine soul. And just imagine that you're breathing this beautiful white light into your lungs to heal, to soothe, to neutralize all the heavy, dark stuff that's in there. And so play with that visual. And then here's another thing that we do. You know, a lot of us feel this pain in the center of the chest. We feel it in our back, behind the heart. And I work with this idea that behind the back of the heart chakra, the center of the chest where we all get that pain back there, and a lot of it is, you know, the computer thingy, but it's also being weighed down. The back of the heart chakra is where we take in, get this, emotional backstabbing. So here you go. You're just a nice little, sweet little kid. Mommy, mommy, the ice cream man's here. Can I get ice cream? Mommy, mommy, I want that stuffed animal. No, honey, we can't do that right now. Boom. And even though it's innocent, it goes in. You're lying in your crib crying. Mom's trying to handle the other kids and cooking in the kitchen or whatever, and nobody picks you up. Your emotional need was not met at that time. Boom, goes in. And it gets worse as we go. Every time your emotional need is not met, every time you get someone speaks harshly to you, every time you're abandoned, where you're abused, where you're not heard, that is like a dagger going in the back of your heart chakra that goes right into your heart. You don't see it coming. You're there in your innocence, you're exposing yourself in love, and boom, you get a dagger, a pot shot, a sniper bullet in the back of your heart chakra. So what we do then is I usually use a visual. Okay, we're gonna do this now, people, because I'm getting a lot of pains in the center of the chest. All right. In the time that we have left, I want you all to just drop down, take a breath, drop down into the center of your chest, and bring your awareness into the center of your chest, the heart chakra. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the back of your heart chakra, in the back between the shoulder blades, where you get that pain. And now we're going to call in your own higher self soul. If you wish, you can envision angelic beings, a divine surgical team. Imagine that you're lying on your face on a surgical table, and it's all blue-white light, and there are heavenly beings like surgeons and nurses and assistants all around you. And they're going in and they're pulling out all the weapons that have been used against you your entire life. Pulling out the daggers, the arrows of unkind words, the sniper bullets of emotional abandonment, the spears, the poison darts of ugly words, all of the weapons. And you might even imagine spirit nurses holding golden ceremonial bowls, just as if you were in a trauma unit in a rough neighborhood on a Saturday night. And just feel all those weapons, hear the metal clink as they drop into the bowl. And just feel then, as all those weapons, all the shrapnel, the shards, the sharp cutting things that have gone into the heart, all the grief, the pain, even the times when you hurt yourself by not recognizing who you are, by judging yourself, by beating yourself up. Unmercifully, we are sometimes our own worst adversaries. As all of that is being cleaned out, feel and imagine the divine surgeon pouring in a beautiful vial of blue-white light, going in through the back, into your heart. And feel and imagine that you can see your heart light up, start beating again. And then magically you're turned over. And you're lying on your back. You might even wish to put your hands on your heart at this point. And as you breathe into your heart now, into the place where your chest hurt, gentle, gentle breaths, not big, big, big breaths, just gentle breaths, kind breaths. You're recovering now. Remember, you're recuperating. Feel your heart open, expand, and start to breathe. Feel your lungs expand and give your heart room. Imagine that your lungs are filled with white light and expanded. And as you look into your heart, who do you see? What do you see? Do you see a heart that was battered, bruised, armored? Now you can see it as recovering, with the light beginning to spread through and heal that heart. See it come back. See it expand in your chest. See it dare to open, expand, and get big. And as you look into the center of your chest and your heart, notice who and what you see in there. A beautiful rose, flower, fragrant, a Tinkerbell-like figure that somehow has your face. A mischievous, adventurous little person. A wise you. Look again and see your own face looking back at you. See your eyes looking back at you. Look deeply and lock eyes with your own eyes looking back at you from your heart. And make a promise to your heart. As you breathe into the center of your chest, again, kind and gentle. And as you breathe into your heart, make a promise to your own heart that you will listen to her voice or his voice. This is the voice of the truth of your spirit speaking through you, to you, as you. And as you take a breath into that beautiful, magical, powerful heart of yours, inhale from your heart to your brain. And exhale from your brain to your heart. And inhale up again. And exhale down again. And feel as you do that, as you breathe up and down, feel a column of energy flowing between your heart and your brain, like a fiber optic cable connecting the two. Feel your brain wake up to the very frequency and vibration of your heart, like it's surprised. Feel your heart open and relax at finally being heard and validated. Now quickly, as we exhale again to the heart, shoot that column of that fiber optic column of energy all the way down through your body, ground it into the earth. And just breathe and feel a column of light filling your whole body. Breathe it up and down. Oh, feel that. And you might even see it as a column of golden light or white light, purple, whatever. Notice how you see it. And just sit in that, revel in it. And notice and feel it extends all the way up into the highest effulgence of divine light and all the way to the core of the earth. And it is going through the entire center of your body. This is you. This is who you are. This is what you are. And feel that column just spread out through your whole body, feeling it go through your arms and your legs and out into the room. This is the magnitude and the magnificence of you. Of you. This is the truth of who and what you are. And breathe that truth in to your brain, your heart, your every cell of your body. And we just give thanks for the gift of this knowledge and this opportunity and this ability to step into this truth of who we are. And so it is. And so it is.
That was so wonderful, Meredith. And you know, one of the other things that was coming up for me, and I know I've had other women say this to me, there's a thing about standing up really straight, which is how we breathe the best, that I think for some women, I know I had a thing going on for a while on this, about when I stand up straight and really breathe, it makes my chest go out. And so then there's this thing that happens. And, you know, I had 4 brothers growing up, so they were making fun of me when I was, you know, developing, as my mother was saying. So I think there's a thing with women too about doing this thing like this because of that, because of this weird, you know, cultural thing about, you know, that it's okay to stand up straight and to thrust your chest out. Because that's good posture. That's how we're supposed to be standing. But don't you find that's another element that happens for some women? Oh, you're muted for some reason.
I was taking a drink of water and I didn't want to, you know, make noise. So yes, it's very true. And I find that, you know, true also, absolutely. And then of course now we're sitting in front of computers all the time. And so, you know, we hunch over. It's, you know, it's almost like don't take up too much space. Don't show up too much. And it's like, we've got, you know, it's this opening and allowing we are stepping into that. But yeah, it's that protection. But
and look at these back. Exactly. And look at these beautiful comments that we're getting. Eva's saying, I'm crying my eyes out over here. But now I'm okay. Very beautiful experience. Powerful and beautiful. Oh, I'm feeling so much better. I mean, isn't that just so great? I love that so much. And Manjusha was just here doing a soul adventure. Manjusha, how are you feeling now? Can I bring you in? Manjusha, can I bring you in? Hi. There she is. Hi. Can you go off mute so we can hear you?
And Maria's back.
And Maria, right. Manjusha, good. So, how did that feel? Can we hear you?
I found my microphone button. This is Maria.
Oh, hi. Hi, Maria.
Oh, we have Maria. Okay. So, Maria, how are you feeling now?
I didn't really have any expectations at all, But what I've noticed during this hour is that I'm not breathing at all. I'm wondering why, how come I'm walking and talking and living, I am not breathing. And it's, and then when I realized that I'm not breathing, I'm depriving my lungs from working properly, I started crying. And because I have asthma, it's almost like if I don't pay attention to my breath, then I don't acknowledge that I have a limited lung function. And so I'm just not going to do anything there. And, and so there was this feeling, totally unexpected feeling of gratitude from my lungs. Thanks so much for paying proper attention to us. And then I started getting teary-eyed.
Wow.
Imagine my surprise. Yeah.
And Maria just came back. I have to add this. She's a friend of mine, and she just came back from a 3-day backpacking trip where they hiked up Mount Baldy at 11,400 feet.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Yes. Yes, with asthma and a tiny bit of COPD, and I am not going to have that limit me in any way, but it obviously is, you know, challenging to do that. So breathing, I've always found breathing boring. And so I never wanted to do anything special because breathing is so boring. You just sit there and you breathe. And I was so surprised when, as I mentioned, I felt, you know, my lungs almost talking to me because, as you know, Meredith, I do have a lot of grief in my past. And, you know, I think I've allowed to disconnect that because I'm such a physical being. I'm getting teary-eyed now. I mean, this is really surprising to me because I'm not a very sentimental person. So yeah, so to be continued is what I say.
Awesome.
Thank you, Meredith.
My pleasure.
Well, and Maria, if you ever do a breath journey session, you will never in a million years think that breathing is boring because the most unbelievable, incredible things happen when you do a breath journey, including seeing visions and having people who have crossed over come back in and seeing your life in different perspectives and having your high self show up. It's just really so amazing. I'm so happy that you were able to have, to really have something move just in this short time. Thanks. I'm glad we were able to get you back on. So Manjusha, are you here with us? Can you unmute yourself? I'd love to hear from you because you asked the question and you just finished your soul adventure. Are you there?
I see you.
I see
your
you.
picture. Yeah. Yeah, I worked with Manjusha last week or something. Yeah.
Yes. She just finished. So
yeah.
And she had an amazing
Oh, there
soul
she
adventure.
did. She just unmuted herself. Okay.
That's me moving it around. Okay, well, I'm sorry that we're not getting her in. Oh, she says she's unmuted, but are you talking, Manjusha? Do you have I'm not sure what's happened. Okay, I'm not sure that we're getting it. So I hope that okay, great. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Meredith.
Okay, so you all just had some big experiences, and we talk about Breathwork Journey. A lot of you have already done a soul adventure, have done breathwork, and you know what it does. But get this, when you just do a little thing like we just did, what was it, 5 minutes? That actually becomes a mini breathwork journey. And it's very, very healing and powerful. So you can do mini journeys all, throughout the day and have these wonderful experiences once you've broken through and know how to harness the power of breath consciously. It's all intention. It's all intention. You breathe as deeply as you can, to the edge, but it's the intention that you have as you go in. It's all you need to do. You take one step toward consciousness, spirit, source, God, whatever, you know, terminology works for you, the universe, source, God takes 1,000 steps toward you. That's all you need to do. Kind, gentle, loving with yourself, because that's how your soul sees you. So have a beautiful day, everyone, and use the breath as a prayer. Much love,
Well,
much love.
and as you were saying, Meredith, you know, doing this for 5 minutes to even just feel a shift, and some people were saying on the chat that they were crying. Can you all imagine, those of you who have never done an actual breath journey, where you're doing this breath to literally, it moves you into an altered state. That is what it's designed to do. And that is what happens. And so I've been doing the breath journeys since 1990. It changed my life when I first started doing it. I had just gone through codependency treatment when I discovered breathwork through a strange set of circumstances. And I went from depressed and unhappy to so blissed out, I could hardly stand it. It felt like I was about to pop out of my skin. So if you can imagine, if you were feeling emotional during this 5 minutes, if you can imagine taking that and multiplying it by, what would you say, Meredith, 100 times, 1,000 times? I mean, it,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
The range of things is so important. And then it was the same thing for me. Back then I realized I wasn't breathing properly. So doing these things, doing it every day, it's unbelievable what happens with how it can transform your life, to just bring breath. Because if you remember, breath is the first thing that happens when we're alive, and it's the last thing that happens as we go. And so it is our connection to the divine. It is the divine breathing us. And here's somebody who just wrote in on the chat, my breathwork journey was the most profound experience I've ever had in my life, life-changing. And Russell, I hope you're continuing to do it, because it's so amazing and it is so incredible. But even doing what we're doing today, what Meredith taught you today, the stop and drop and breathe and noticing, and just breathing. It's so valuable. So Meredith, I'm going to thank you so much. This was really, really, really great. You're one of our most valuable practitioners. Well, of course, all of my practitioners are so valuable, but the breath work, those of you who have been here know that the breath journeys are the cornerstone of what we do. Because for so many people, it's a situation where for the first time in their life, they're experiencing the divine, having an exact, specific, actual experience of the divine. And for so many people, that's never happened to them before. And so to facilitate that and have that happen, and have that be something that you know that you can get back in touch with over and over again. So Meredith, thank you so much. This was so great.
Great pleasure. See you all soon, hope.
All of you.
Sedona.
Yes, right.
Bye.
So for all of you, I want you to think about doing a Sedona Soul Adventure, because I'll tell you, as I said, the breath journey is a cornerstone of all of this. And so of everything that we do here, it is such an incredible, powerful process. If you'd like to speak to an angel guide, you can do that. You can click on the button here to be able to speak to an angel guide. And I would love to see all of you out here in Sedona. Now, don't forget to come next week, because it's going to be another amazing masterclass, How to Live an Enchanted Life with Ryan Newland. It's going to be really, really wonderful. I know that you are going to totally enjoy it. So thank you all for being with us, and we'll see you next week.